On the morning of February 28, 2026, the world woke up to the largest military operation of the century, codenamed Operation Lions. Raw and epic wrath. The sudden and massive strikes launched by the United States and Israel against Iran marked the beginning of a conflict that would redefine global geopolitics in just 40 days. Today, we dive deep into the timeline of this destruction, from the first missile launches to the economic collapse that followed, and the fragile silence that now grips the planet. The war began not with a declaration, but with a total electronic blackout. High-altitude cyberattacks neutralized Iran's early warning system seconds before hundreds of stealth fighters and cruise missiles entered Iranian airspace. The primary targets were the nuclear facilities in Natanz and Fordow, alongside strategic military hubs in Tehran. The world watched in shock as footage emerged of precision strikes hitting high-level leadership residences and the targeted assassinations of top Revolutionary Guard commanders. For the first 24 hours, it seemed as though the head of the snake had been struck, but the retaliation that followed proved that the axis of resistance was far from defeated. By the second week, the conflict spilled over borders, turning the entire Middle East into a theater of fire. Iran's proxies, Hezbollah in Lebanon, the Houthis in Yemen, and various militias in Iraq, launched a relentless, coordinated barrage of thousands of drones and rockets toward Israeli population centers and US military bases across the region. Israel's Iron Dome and Arrow systems were pushed to their absolute limits, while US carrier strike groups in the Mediterranean and the Persian Gulf found themselves engaged in a chaotic game of cat and mouse with swarms of Iranian suicide boats and anti-ship missiles. The most devastating blow wasn't felt on the battlefield, but in the global economy. On day 15, Iran followed through on its ultimate threat, the total closure of the Strait of Hormuz. By sinking tankers at the narrowest point and deploying thousands of smart mines, they effectively cut off 20% of the world's oil supply. The result was a global heart attack. Oil prices didn't just rise, they exploded, skyrocketing past $100 per barrel in a single afternoon. In countries like Turkey, fuel prices surged by 18% in less than 2 weeks, crossing the 70 lira mark. This wasn't just a fuel crisis, it was a survival crisis. Logistics costs caused food prices to skyrocket globally. In major cities from Istanbul to London, the cost of basic groceries tripled, leaving supermarket shelves empty and fueling civil unrest in dozens of countries. As the war entered its 4th week, the humanitarian toll became unbearable. The 40-day window saw massive displacements of people across the region. Major cities were paralyzed by constant air raid sirens and power outages. Diplomacy seemed dead until day 40, April 7th, when a surprise joint announcement came from a temporary ceasefire. The United States and Israel framed it as a strategic de-escalation after achieving their primary military objectives, while Iran hailed it as a victory of divine resistance for surviving the onslaught and forcing the West to the table. Today, as the smoke clears, the world remains in a state of shock. The Al-Aqsa Mosque has finally reopened for prayers, but the scars of the conflict are everywhere. Gold has reached historic highs as a safe haven, and the global supply chain remains shattered. We are left asking, is this ceasefire the end of the road, or just a tactical pause before an even larger storm? The status of Iran's nuclear program remains a mystery, and the regional power balance has been permanently altered. But I want to know what you think. Is this ceasefire a genuine step toward peace, or was it a strategic retreat by the West? Did anyone actually win this 40-day war, or did the whole world lose? What are your thoughts on this war? Let's meet in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Don't forget to subscribe to Geopolitics History and hit the like button to help us grow. But I want to know what you think. Next analysis. Is this ceasefire the end of the war, or just the calm before an even bigger storm? Was the withdrawal a strategic move by the US and Israel? What are your thoughts on this war? Let's meet in the comments. I'll be reading every single one. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more geopolitical analysis. See you in the next one.